Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my top fall fragrance video. This is going to be different because I am tired of filming the same top fall fragrances, but I have a playlist that I will link below. This is going to be 10 fragrance type or notes that I notice I like to wear during fall, and then I have an oldie but a goodie, my top perfume in that category or with that note, and then a newbie, and then I'll let you guys know which one I'm enjoying more at the moment. So we have quite a bit to go over. I'm not gonna go over any notes, but let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so my first category is transitioning fragrance. This is the fragrance that I like to wear around this time of year, the tail end of summer. I will wear it during fall, and it's a fragrance that also is really good if you live in a warmer climate like I do here in Florida. So my favorite transitioning fragrance, and you guys, this is definitely more of a subjective video. You can wear these fragrances any time of year. I am a seasonal wearer, so this is when I tend to gravitate towards this fragrance, but that is Soleil by Lalique. I tend to wear this one transitioning into fall and then all through fall. This is my favorite fruity gourmand. It's got, oh my goodness, it's just blended so well. There's so many notes in here. Again, I'm not gonna go over any notes. It gives me fall vibes, more like the sun setting kind of fall vibes. This is very much a fruity, slightly gourmand scent, but this is my all-time favorite transitioning scent. I do have a lot of transitioning scents, but to me, the scent that I could compare to this one, I actually don't have yet. I tested it out in store because I wanted to test it before picking it up, but it's the new Donna, the Donna Gold by Valentino. I really wanted to put that as my newbie. I tested that one out in Sephora and fell in love with it, but I'm waiting for it to get to Ulta because I have points. And even though that one has a note of coconut, there is just something about that scent that just screams transitioning to me. It's something that I think is beautiful for transitioning into fall. There's something cozy about it. You get the Donna Born in Roma DNA, even though they don't list some of the notes. I get Donna Born in Roma, but the intense, the more indolic jasmine, and then I get a creamy coconut, but the coconut is very subdued, and then I get like a bright, I don't know what the notes are, but I got like a brightness, almost like there was a mandarin orange in there. So that's the one I wanted to talk about, but if you told me I had to pick one, it would be Soleil by Lalique. I have plenty of Donna Born in Romas. This one would be my number one. Keeping in line with transitioning, this one I would say is more of my fruity fragrance. So maybe not fruity gourmands, at least I don't think these are considered fruity gourmands, but they're getting a little bit more sweeter and candy-like. So the first one up, my oldie but goodie, we have Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle. Now this one was even more so transitioning for me when I first got it, when it was more purple. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a little bit more brown because the vanilla is getting stronger in this one. This one still has a freshness, but when I first got this one, it was a little bit lighter, airier, more aquatic. Yeah, it's definitely gotten stronger, but still an oldie but goodie. Oh, so good. I wore this one the other day, and this one creates a perfect fall feeling without being too much. So one that's newer in my collection that falls in the same category is Kayali's Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar. This one also has pear, kind of like that one. It's similar but different, especially testing them out side by side. This one reminds me like a little bit in between the original, but when you first get it, not after it's deepened, and then the intense version. This one I think will get deeper with time. This one's more light, airy, and fluffy. It's got a little bit more candy to it, whereas that one's more vanilla. This one, the vanilla might get stronger, but this one has a note of bubblegum. Now spraying them side by side, it's more candied. I think if you told me I can only pick one, if it's in my collection now, it would be Kayali Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar. But if you told me I can only keep one and I can go out to store and buy one, I would probably get a small 50 ml of the original, because when I pick this up when it's new and hasn't, you know, macerated or gotten stronger with time, I love the aquatic freshness of this when it's brand spanking new. So it's number one if I'm picking what's in my collection, but if I get to get a brand new bottle, it would be Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle. All right, keeping in line with fruity fragrances, we're going to be now going into my favorite apple fragrances. So we have Kayali's Eden Juicy Apple as my oldie but goodie. And then for my new one, we have Ellis Brooklyn's Apple Love. And these are different apple fragrances. I would say this is more of your tart, more of your body splash-esque apple. And then Ellis Brooklyn is more of your sweet, kind of girly apple. The apple in here is more blended. I definitely get more of a tart, realistic Macintosh apple in this one. This is like biting into, I know that it's sweet apple that's in here, but I get more of that Macintosh apple where it's kind of green and then red, and then when you bite into it, it's really white inside. That's what I get in here. It's the same apple that I get in Country Apple by Bath & Body Works. Now I get other notes in this one, making it more perfumey. I get kind of the same burnt sugar that I get in Vanilla 28. I never used to get that. I'm starting to get this as this one sits. And then I get a muskiness, and then there is a fruitiness that's not coming from the apple, that's coming from the raspberries that are in here. And then Apple Love, this one's, again, this one gives me more like Ariana Grande vibes. Like those fragrances, they're fun, kind of girly. The apple in here is more blended. It's more of a sweet apple. And it's not as in your face apple. I would definitely pick Eden Juicy Apple just because apple is a note I love. I wish I found it more in fragrances. And to me, this is the ultimate apple fragrance on its own, but also to layer with. Another note type that I really love is cherry. I prefer cherry in fall and winter. Now for my favorite cherry, I was going back between Dancing Roses and Kayali's Lovefest as my oldie but goodie. But I think if you told me I can keep only one, it would be Lovefest Burning Cherry, because this one's more fall. Yeah, it's more of a dark cherry, a little boozy, a little smoky. So the newest cherry in my collection is Angelic Cherry Elixir, and this is supposed to be a hybrid of Angel Share by Kilian and Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I think if I start to get the booziness and some of Angel Share, I might like this one. As of right now, this isn't anything special to me, so I would have to say Burning Cherry still holds the candle for me. So again, that's Kayali's Lovefest Burning Cherry and Angelic Cherry Elixir by Dua. Another fragrance note that I really love for fall is plum. My oldie but goodie plum fragrance is Marc Jacobs Decadence. Oh my goodness, this is so good. It's got this kind of warm, spicy plum, but also the vetiver in here is making this one super sexy. So this is my oldie but goodie plum scent. My new plum scent, which is very different, is Musc Noir Rose by Narciso Rodriguez. And this is more rosy. So where that one is more warm, spicy plum with vetiver, this is a warm, spicy plum, but rosy. Still sexy, but definitely more feminine. Oh my goodness. My newbie. If I could only keep one, this one's gorgeous. This would be my number one in the plum category. So again, that is Narciso Rodriguez Musc Noir Rose. Okay, now transitioning out of fruity fragrances. So this is my intoxicating fragrance. Not only boozy, but specifically wine. I love fragrances that have that kind of intoxicating wine top, from Giorgio Armani C, Montpellier. Some of the Miss Dior's have it. I have two here. I don't have a newbie. I haven't really found a newbie, but I feel like the Si Passiona Intense, that might be a good one. I'm gonna be getting a travel once it's available. But I did include two oldies, but not super old. So I can't remember which one I got first, but this one is the older one. This one came out in 2019. This is Clean Reserves from the Avant Garden collection. This one is discontinued. This is White Fig Bourbon. And then we have Giorgio Armani's C Intense, the 2021. So I got these two pretty close to each other. I'll say that this one's the oldie and this one's the newbie, just by release date. This one's changed. I actually sprayed this one today, and I'm starting to get more of the spices and the woodiness in this one. I don't know if it's vetiver that's in this one, but this one, yeah, this one is still boozy, but not as boozy, because now I'm getting a kind of spicy woodiness to this one. This is very fall. This is still beautiful in my opinion. And then C Intense, it still has that intoxicating wine top that the C range just has to my nose. Oh, and I love it. So I would say if I had to pick one, you told me I couldn't keep both, it would be C, just because this one has that intoxicating black currant that I love. So for my next category, I have been on the hunt for the longest time for at the fair kind of fragrances. And I've had a couple of at the fair type of fragrances, but they haven't been my favorite. I'm still on the hunt, so I want to include that category in here. So an oldie, I don't want to say an oldie but goodie. It's a goodie, but it's a fragrance that I've moved past from. That's Casablanca by Swiss Arabian. So this one, the opening reminds me of those caramel dipped apples, but it's got to be a green one. It's got to be a green caramel dipped apple. Warm on the stick, just sitting there. And I absolutely adore the opening. It's just the base of this fragrance. Love the opening. Opening is magic. But this is the fair. But again, when you get those delicious caramel dipped apples. For my newest fair fragrance, I did try out Cirque du Soleil's L'Eau de Parfum. Gorgeous scent, but that $300 price tag for a scent that I know I'm only gonna wear a few times just isn't for me. So I got Circus of the Sun by Dua. Now, the problem with this one is it's not a dupe in my opinion. It's more gourmand, more buttery, more fair. I liked Cirque du Soleil because it had floral elements, it was more balanced, and it was gourmand without being too much, too foodie. This one, yeah. This was nice, but that butter is so strong. Now I am gonna play with this one and talk about it in my fall layering videos, because I feel like I haven't tried it yet. I feel like if I add Eden Juicy Apple, because I did add Eden Juicy Apple to Cirque du Soleil's and it was gorgeous, I think I might like this one. And this one of course was cheaper. So I'm okay with getting a fragrance and creating a feeling if it's not expensive, but the Cirque du Soleil is expensive. But this is a true fair vibe, but without the caramel apple. This is more like cotton candy, buttered popcorn, caramel. It's warm, it's cozy, it's foodie. So I'm gonna check back. But if you told me I could keep only one, I feel like I could layer with this one, and I might, if this one doesn't bother me like I want to scrub it. This one bothers me because the buttered popcorn's strong in the opening, but I don't mind this one in the base, in the deep dry down. And I feel like if I layer this one, I might like it. This one actually bothers me in the deep dry down. So I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be this one. All right, now we're gonna be getting into more vanilla gourmand kind of fragrances. So we need a vanilla. I love vanilla around fall time. So I have here Kayali's Vanilla 28. I like more basic, simple vanillas. I'm not into overly complex vanilla fragrances. And this is just my kind of vanilla. This one has changed. This one used to be a little bit more fresh and more clean and more musky. But now that the vanilla's getting deeper, it's more kind of like the vanilla extract that you cooked with. I remember people would talk about it. My girl Takara would smell it. I could never smell that, but now I'm getting it. A little boozy. The newest vanilla in my collection, not super new, I got this one last year, but it's the newest. I did get the new Intense, I'm going to talk about it soon, is Burberry Goddess. And this is, I'm just going to tell you guys right now, this is my favorite vanilla in my collection because of the lavender that's in here. This is another simple vanilla. There's not much to this one. This is very much lavender vanilla with a little spicy ginger kick. Absolutely gorgeous. It does tickle my nose. Once I get past that, I think this one is beautiful. I had to travel, ran through that, and I'm already putting a dent in my larger bottle. This one definitely beats out my original Kayali Vanilla 28. So again, the way I'm deciding is if I could only keep one, which one would I keep? It would be Burberry Goddess. All right, another note that I absolutely love around fall now. I do wear it year round. I wear it mainly fall, winter, and on rainy days, and that is the note of coffee. So coffee time, as my grandfather used to say. Now I have several coffee fragrances, so I picked my top oldie and then my newest coffee fragrance in my collection. So my top oldie is Dolce & Gabbana's The Only One. Now I was going between this one and I think it's Coffee Addict by Replica, but that one is more of my rainy day. This is more fall. If you want more of a fall coffee scent, Dolce & Gabbana is The Only One. Now the coffee in here is very well blended. I would say a lot of coffee fragrances, I get the coffee note in the opening and it smells like straight up coffee. And here it adds to the fragrance. It's blended very beautifully. Yeah, it adds something to the fragrance. It's not overly coffee, but it is gourmand. It's a perfumey gourmand. There's a powderiness. I believe this one has iris. I only remember that it had a powdery iris, not because I can pick up iris, but just because I've talked, it's either iris or violet, but just because I've talked about this fragrance enough. This one's blended very well that I get more of the accords. So the coffee adds to this fragrance. The orange blossom and the mandarin, they add to this fragrance. It gives it a brightness. It gives it a sweetness. The iris gives it a powderiness. Less is more with this fragrance, but it's blended very, very well. This is my oldie but goodie coffee scent. And my newest coffee scent is Cafe Oud. This one, you get more of a coffee in the opening and then it blends and I get more of a rosiness. Yeah. This one, the coffee in here is more like a café con leche, so it's a little sweeter, and it's in the opening. I did get a mini in PR, but I ended up purchasing a larger bottle during the Sephora VIB, and this is my kind of coffee scent. The coffee is very subtle, it's in the opening, and then I just like the other notes that are in here. There is white musk, vanilla, oud, is geranium, there is rose, and then there's cappuccino. And then there is a brightness that's coming from like a mandarin that's in here. So I think if you told me I can only pick one, it'd be hard because they're different and I like them for different reasons. They're not similar in any way, but if you told me I could keep one, I think I've moved past this scent and it would be this one. So again, that is Cafe Oud by Kayali. All right, and then for my last category, this to me is probably my most holiday, my most festive, slightly gourmand fragrance category. So for my oldie, we have Angel Share, and then for my newbie, we have Khamrah Qawha by Lattafa. Not to be confused with the original, this one's their coffee scent. This is the newer one. These fall in the same scent type. This one leaning a little bit more boozy and this one leaning more coffee. I do have a video where I compare the original Khamrah, and then we have, to me, the better of the Khamrahs, and that's the Qawha version. This one's coffee, it's gourmand, it reminds me of the holidays, it reminds me of sitting around with the family after we've eaten dinner and having coffee. This one reminds me more of Angel Share than the original did. The dates just totally ruined that one for me. It was too sugary. This one, it's got those gourmand touches, but the coffee that's in here, which is not in here very strong, but when you get it, to me, it's more of a black, robust coffee. It balances this scent out. This one's gorgeous. I am really happy to have this one in my collection. So this is the newer one. And then we have Angel Share. This one to me is gourmand, but it's also got like a boozy, but the booziness in here is more of a warm, spiked apple cider. And then I get like that Cinnabon feeling in here. Or when you think of the Auntie Annie stand, where you get that warm scent of cinnamon. And I've always said that this reminds me of walking through the mall around the holidays. And then in the dry down, I do get the woody notes, but they're never overpowering. This definitely is more of an intoxicating gourmand, and maybe that's why I like it, because it's not super foody. It's more of the scent in the air. Like, I don't feel like I smell like food. It's just a mixture of everything. So if you told me I could only keep one, it would be this one. But Lattafa Khamrah Qawha It's still another gorgeous one. But yeah, guys, those are my favorite fall fragrances, my favorite like notes that I like, or fragrance types. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of your favorite fragrances to wear around fall time? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.